What does Super Mario World and Djent music have in common? Probably lots, actually. Welcome back to El Taylor Guitar, where today I want to talk about some festively spooky stuff, because Halloween and tent poles, you know. Specifically, I want to talk about tone clusters, a little bit about how you can use them as a songwriter or a composer, a little bit about how if you're in a metal band you're probably using them already, and a little bit about one of my favourite video game scores of all time. A tone cluster is a group of notes that live right next door to each other on a keyboard. Composers for horror films and horror games will sometimes just smack their hand into a keyboard or just lay their arm across it to create these massive, epically dissonant tone clusters. The important thing to remember about tone clusters is that they're kind of nasty sounding on purpose. Part of that is you can't really tell where the root note is, and arguably there isn't one. They deliberately don't really fit within a key. Composers can use that to put listeners on edge because you don't really know what note is the center, where home is. Just like in real life, if you don't know where your home is, that can be pretty upsetting. Okay, let's get to the bit where I say that Mario and Djent are the same thing. Let's consider the ghost house music from Super Mario World. This track has quite a few compositional elements that are designed to put the listener, the gamer, on edge, and I'm not going to go into all of them because, frankly, 8-Bit Music Theory did a really good video on that exact subject, so I'd suggest you go watch that when I'm done. The highest pitches in this track are this weird chromatic semi-quaver ostinato, and that was a really impressive sentence. I'm quite proud of myself. This pattern evolves over time, but let's just worry about the initial phrase, which is D sharp, F, D, and E. I should also point out that this part is harmonized in tritones, but again, let's not worry about that. Go watch 8-Bit Music Theory's video if you want to know more. These 4 notes appear next to each other on a keyboard, and this pattern is repeated in such a way that it makes it slightly less nasty to hear than just playing them together. Ugh. It's like they've taken that little tone cluster of 4 notes and separated it into its requisite parts and then played them one after the other, like a riff, really. I'm going to call that a cluster melody. Now we get to the Djent bit. Let's consider Djent breakdowns, or not specifically Djent, but that's like a keyword I need to hit. As well as it being Halloween, I need to say Djent a lot because Google is listening. Hi Google. There's millions of metal riffs from pretty much every stage of metal evolution that use chromatic clusters of notes in this same way. Let's play that riff, the D sharp, F, D, E pattern. We're going to put it in drop D, we're going to play it in power chords, and we're going to put a bit of distortion on it. And just to make the point even clearer, let's add the rest of the band in. That could be a riff in any metal song. I love finding parallels like this, and I've got to wonder if the reason we find horror soundtracks, even like one of the earliest ones in Super Mario World, even that cheesy, brightly coloured horror soundtrack, the reason that's unsettling and spooky is perhaps the same reason that we find metal riffs kind of unsettling and spooky, because they rely on the same basic compositional elements. The odd thing about these melodic clusters, other than their sound and intrinsic oddness, is that after a while they just sort of blend together into this weird rhythmic phrase where actually it's the contour of the pattern, the direction the pitches go, that matters more than the actual pitches that are being played. I made the same point in an earlier video where I talk about how if you take a weird pattern of notes or noises or anything and just repeat it enough times, it becomes a musical pattern, even if it's the weirdest, most nonsensical sequence of notes. Basically what I'm saying is Super Mario World is really metal. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I will see you next Friday at 4 PM GMT. Toodaloo.